Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. It's our normal. Oh yeah, wait, I'm getting text messages. Holy crap, I forget. So those of you who don't know, welcome to the show. It's the All Over Overland show here on Overland Radio. And tonight I sent out a first of our mass text messages, and now I'm getting these text things back. So forgive me if it distracts me for a little bit. You know how it is when you have squirrel. Anyway, so tonight ought to be pretty fun. We're gonna have a new guest that's kind of new into the overlanding, and it's gonna be cool to hear things from his perspective, obviously. And of course, we have our host Michael. He'll be here in just a second. But before we get too far, I want to thank our sponsors, Overland Addict, the Overland Essentials, Midland Radios, Red Arc, CBI, and Prinsu. And also be sure, if you don't already follow us on social media, check out our Instagram, Facebook, and yes, now that freedom rings on Twitter, we are back on Twitter. So it's the at symbol Overland Radio. And anyway, you can just find us Overland Radio on all those platforms. So, and then of course our website, be sure to join us there. So anyway, here we go. Let's bring the man in himself.
Hey everybody, welcome to the All Over Overland show.
Hey, Crystal says she got the text. How cool is that?
I saw that. That's pretty nice. Yeah, my phone blew up and
did the link come through okay?
Huh?
Did the link come through on the text so you could just click the link and it'd take you right to our page?
I mean, I didn't push the link, but it was there.
Why do I have you around?
Yeah, do you need me to push the link?
No, well, I mean, I needed somebody to push the link to tell me it worked. Jeez. Our buddy Mark is here from Australia. Mark is the man. I'm just going to tell you guys right now.
Yeah, it worked.
Mark is the man. Hey, Chad and Crystal, thank you very much for letting us know. And thank you for joining us. So, yeah, man, what's new with you?
I got bad news.
I know.
So bad news. I will not be able to be the MC for the Big Iron Overland Rally this year. I have a work conference that popped up, so I will not be able to attend.
Oh, man.
We get back Saturday. Fly back from Houston on Saturday of Big Iron, so it just doesn't make any sense.
Oh, that stinks.
So I hope it's not too hot. It's gonna be July in Kansas. So, but yeah, no, it's a good time. Seeing all the bands and getting to hang out with everybody. It's a good time. If you didn't get to go last year, I would recommend it. I would say it's something you need to try and check out. So, I was doing burnouts in front of my house. What?
Chad. Damn. Damn, man, I'm gonna miss you.
That's pretty funny. So what's been going on with you, man? You got some things planned you're working on, getting ready to go.
I'm getting ready to leave for Expo West, but I'm leaving early, which I'm super stoked about. I am gonna go to Vegas.
Vegas, baby.
I'm gonna pass. Baby. Yeah, I'm gonna pass through Flagstaff on my way to Vegas. I'm gonna go meet a guy from Australia who owns Australian off-road campers.
Yeah, huh? This is kind of exciting stuff. This is kind of fun to hear.
And I'm gonna spend some time with this new camper. It's the first 2 on U.S. soil, and so they're gonna let me take one of them for like 4 days or something, and I'm going to take it and head back towards Flagstaff.
Now, everybody, I want you to wrap. Hold on, Lee. I want you guys to wrap your brains around this real quick, because there's a company from Australia that's going to be here that Lee's going to meet with. There's 2 of these trailers here, and they said, "Hey, Lee, not just some." They picked Lee to drive this trailer and check it out and tell them about it. That is, if you don't understand the greatness that sits across that screen from me,
whatever.
This is some of the shit that I listen to and hear all the time, and I'm like, Why you? How?
I don't know.
But
So
dude, that's
it's going to be
awesome.
cool because, Lauren at X Grid, he kind of orchestrated this really.
And he's amazing.
He's a super guy. And he's like, hey, if you want to do this, let's get it all together. So we're actually going to do an interview with him. We're going to sit down with him inside the building with the trailer. And we're going to talk about this trailer and how, they make some they call them caravans. We call them campers. These things are like $120,000, like 25 foot long, huge, so it's going to be fun to talk to him, but it's going to be fun to take this thing and camp it, to be honest.
Are you taking the one like we saw?
That's the exact one I'm taking.
Dude.
It's that exact one.
Dude, that one's pretty badass. No one has Chad, you are my spirit animal sometimes, man.
Oh my god,
is hilarious. Yeah,
he cracks me up.
So yeah, and they all know how Lee is with trailers.
Yeah, I did have to agree.
Okay. Yeah,
I did have to agree that I wouldn't go bang. Well, I told him, I was like, you want me to take it out and do like I do the Opus? And he's like, no, actually, I need it to be in one piece when it gets to Flagstaff. It's like, all right, fine.
Hey, but you know what? I call bullshit, because remember when the Defender showed up at Rendezvous a couple years ago? And if it was nice and shiny, we would not have respected it in the least. But this thing had plastic ripped off of it.
Oh, I remember that.
You remember?
I remember. No, I remember it because it
was Jeff's mom.
Yeah, the GPS took her down the trail.
Yeah. And it had like scratches all down the side. And this was brand new. And it had already pulled out some of the rain lining, the inner lining in where the wheels are. Amazing. Like, that was the coolest. That was one of the coolest things. That was the coolest thing of that whole weekend, really.
I would agree.
The story behind that and everything. Oh, yeah. It was dark and it was gross outside, and there was a wreck that happened. And so GPS told her to go a different way. And I don't know if it just knew what she was driving, but she said it was so scary. It was so like anyway, hats off to her.
Yeah. So that was, we're going to.
Yeah. See, I think you should get it dirty and nasty.
Hello from Massachusetts. Well, hello.
Hey, here's the dude right here. Talk about doing some good work. We need to get him on soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need to get him on soon for sure. Yeah.
Well, we're always looking for new victims.
Yeah. I'll send you a message. What else?
So yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just getting ready for Expo.
Have you made a video of your, like what you're doing with the truck and stuff yet? Like maybe some Velcro
man,
stuff?
You know me better than that. I live in the moment.
Velcro things?
Oh yeah, that. So I did this quick thing where I took my spices and I designed these spices, or I made them so that they were in containers that were small for camping. You can see them behind me here. They're just tiny. Anyway, they fit in a shotgun shell holder. So I had a shotgun shell holder, pulled the back, it had Velcro, and I just slung it on the door of the alucab and it stuck. And I get a message from our buddy Mason Berry. He goes, dude, is that like a PCP dispenser? Like, no.
He does live in Arkansas. He knows.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he knows. Like we would have to question, like, is that what that looks like? But being in Arkansas, you just know. You just know. Well, okay. So we're gonna bring on the guest. This guy, it's funny. I'd followed him on Instagram, and he was like, dude, crazy. Thanks for following me. And he's in the military, he's a dad, husband, the whole bit. He's relatively new in the overlanding world. He's in the military, he's in the Army, he's traveled, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. But one of the things that we're really going to talk about with Mike is going to be just kind of the fresh eyes that he has on overlanding, and remembering back to when it was new for us, and how his point of view is going to be so different than ours because it wasn't as near as big.
Yeah.
When we first got into this. So bring him on. Push the
Boom.
button. There he is. Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Good, gentlemen. Good. Thank you for having me on.
Awesome. Well, first of all, I want to mention, I've talked a little bit about you, but you also on Instagram, you're 0_bearing_adventures, right?
Absolutely. That is me.
Right. And lately you have been posting a shit ton of pictures from the Philippines.
Yes.
And got me kind of, oh man, that's cool. So you're in the Army. So
Yep.
Tell us how long have you been in the Army?
I've been in the Army 14.5 years.
Wow. And where all have you been?
I started out in Germany. Then I went to Virginia. I was stationed there for a little bit. I did a stint in Korea. Did a stint in Texas.
That's a different country.
Did a stint in, I was stationed at Fort Sill in Lawton, Oklahoma.
Oh,
I know
that's like a whole nother country.
Man, we call that Little Los Angeles.
Yes. And then I moved up to Washington, right as the pandemic hit, is right when I got up here.
Gotcha.
So
And, I had a stint in Iraq in between one of those assignments.
now, before we get too far, what are you drinking tonight? Is that a Mike's?
It is
lemonade?
It is. I have physical training in the morning, so I have to keep it light.
That's right on, man. Well, here's to you, man. Thanks for your service.
Thank you,
I believe
gentlemen.
our buddy Levi, who's also one of our sponsors, the Overland Essentials.
Yep.
I think he's in the Army, which I really need to send him that
It'd
video.
make way more sense if he was in the Navy.
Yeah. And
Based
once I send him this,
based on the video that you have at your hand.
I think that's about to make its way to him here in just a minute.
Right on. We tried to play it on here when we were testing everything, and it just the sound wouldn't come on. So it's a video about all the different military branches riding in a car. Let's just put it that way.
Dude, it's epic.
And when you think of Levi, and you'll know what I mean whenever I say Navy.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to Brian, his buddy, his partner,
buddy, his Navy buddy.
Yeah, his partner.
Yeah, his partner. Yeah,
business partner.
Hey, I got to tell you though, the biggest movie of movie history is going to be coming out, and it's.
I know, and let me tell you,
they fly and land on boats. Top Gun, man.
Oh.
Yep.
It's gonna be badass. You can shake your head, but that movie's gonna be so badass.
So I have an affinity for Maverick. I absolutely love Top Gun, but for me, it's the new Jurassic World Dominion coming out next month. That's where my money is.
Well, you do have that 4-year-old audience.
Oh yeah,
pegged down. So
listen, my oldest daughter can quote most of the first Top Gun. I'm so proud of her because she will call me just randomly once or twice a year, and she goes, "Hey, Dad, I'm watching Top Gun," and it's driving her husband Blake. It's driving him crazy because she's quoting the lines.
The whole movie, yeah.
And so she told me, she said, "Look, are we going to go see it?" And I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Well, then I'm not going to go see it when it comes out. You can't go see it. You have to wait till you get to Utah." So I have to wait till I go through Utah in July before I get to see it. Cause I've promised her for the last, 2 years that we'd go see it again, or go see it together.
Yeah.
So now, Mike, you're too young for when Top Gun came out, but when it came out, it was the biggest PR stunt that the military could ever pull.
I will agree 100% with that.
Like so many people enlisted when that movie came out.
All want to be pilots. All want to be called Maverick. Yeah. I have a funny story about that. So when I first came in the military in 2008, my first job was as a communications repairer, and we had to go to Fort Gordon, Georgia, which is outside Augusta. There was a couple soldiers that had gotten name tapes made. One was Maverick, one was Goose. They pulled their real name off, and they rocked that for about 3 or 4 weeks. before they realized the instructors realized that that's not their real name.
That's funny.
That's awesome. Oh shit, that's funny.
Oh, that's so good. But yeah, I think the cinematography in this is going to be unbelievable.
For sure.
You know, I mean that crazy some bitch can fly a jet. I mean, it's just insane. He can actually do that shit.
Oh, I agree 100%. Plus, the Navy, he was only going to do it if the Navy helped out again. So,
Yeah,
it's a win-win situation. And I definitely do not knock the Navy for not playing, for playing a part on that, because that's good PR.
Just makes sense. Hey, it's kind of like if they did another G.I. Jane.
Yes.
No, not really. I was gonna ask you a question,
Sure.
Lee. It was a really, really serious
Silence
question.
is killing us.
Man. Anyway, so tell us, Mike, a little bit about. So you're a baby Overlander, is what I lovingly refer to him.
Yes.
Tell us first about is the rig that you're currently in. Is it the first Overland rig that you have? Is it the second? How's the progression been?
So it's technically the second.
Okay.
So I really didn't get into overlanding until I want to say 2016. Is because I had actually I found Expedition Overland on YouTube in 2013 when I was stationed in Korea as some entertainment to go by, and this is when they were still in their infancy with what they were doing. And I'm like,
dude, you're not really a baby Overlander.
Yeah. I mean, like I didn't understand.
We were bamboozled.
I didn't understand the concept behind it. It was more for entertainment,
Gotcha. Yeah.
And
people really do that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Because I grew up as a camper. My dad taught me the outdoors. At a very young age. About 5 years old, I was in a tent in Lake Kinzua on the border of New York and Pennsylvania, learning how to fish, learning how to set up a tent, do all that stuff, fires. And so after I had gone to Korea, I moved to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and I had got a Chevy Trailblazer. Well, I had fallen in love with weather because Oklahoma is known, for tornadoes and crap like that.
Yeah.
So I said, I'm gonna be a videographer. I'm gonna go chase these storms and do all this craziness. My wife goes, "You're an idiot," but all right. And so I had my Chevy Trailblazer. It was it was the LT, so it had all the good bells and whistles on it, and I started building it up for that. And then
I see where this is going.
I changed my job to what I am now, which is electronic warfare is what I do right now, and it's kind of cutting edge stuff. But so when I changed my job,
Lee, do you remember Daryl?
And my other brother Daryl?
No. Daryl was the computer in the movie War Games with Matthew.
Oh yeah.
No.
Would you like to play a game?
No, I think Spaceballs with the jam.
Oh, even better.
Oh my God.
So yes, I got a Lone Star. But that's awesome. That's pretty much what my job.
Elon Musk names all of his cars after Spaceballs.
It doesn't surprise me. He is a Spaceball.
It's his favorite movie. He made the rocket thing, the big thingies.
Yeah.
He made it in that shape because of Spaceballs.
That doesn't surprise me.
He was like, it's actually not as efficient as it could be because I wanted it to look like that.
See, this is how much we're loved. Look at the comment. Oh hell, you guys again.
Anyway, sorry about that. So
no.
You're pounding away in the Trailblazer.
Yep.
And you're not in the Trailblazer now. So tell us what you're in right now. And it's probably because of gas, I'm guessing.
So okay. So I go down. I leave Oklahoma and I go down to Texas, and I'm like, shit. I'm not driving all the way to North Texas to chase storms anymore. What am I gonna do? And my wife goes, well, you watch that overlanding thing. Why don't you try doing that? I'm like, okay. So I built my Trailblazer up, and then gas was fairly cheap. Then my wife had my son, and I'm like, this thing is not practical at all.
Yeah.
It gets terrible gas mileage. We're going all over, whatever. So I'm in a 2016 Jeep Cherokee Latitude right now. Is my choice with the mighty strong 2.4 liter 4-cylinder, all 180 horsepower on a good day.
I know.
But yeah, I started out with that, and the damnedest thing is they don't make a whole lot of stuff for it.
Yeah.
And thankfully, through companies, there's a couple that are out there now. One of them's called MFC. I know the owner. I've talked to him many times. He started basically the foundation for it, because people, when they buy Jeeps, they buy the Wranglers, they buy now the Gladiators. Even the Renegade has a following.
Yeah, a little weird cult following to it.
They do, but they make parts for it. With the Cherokee, they don't. So I basically said, okay, what can I do? So I just started buying random shit off of Amazon, and said, I'm going to make this work. I will make my own lights. I will make my own roof rack.
Yeah.
And what helped me was Rough Country built a damn lift leveling kit for it. So I was able to raise the front end to 2 inches, because the little 4-cylinders, they're naturally raked at the front. So like if I wanted to use it off-roading, I'm just going to tear off everything. With the lift level, brings it up. And then as a gift from my wife, she bought me my set of my all-terrain Falcon Wild Peaks that I have on there right now. Which,
how are you liking those?
I love them. I think I'm not sponsored by them, but I think that's going to be the tire I'm going to go with from now on with whatever it is I get in the future.
So speaking of tires, Hankook has a new tire, a mud terrain tire.
I can't do Hankook.
No, this
That's
is
what
a
the
funny
Nissan
story.
comes with.
Yeah, so it's got a Hankook tire. Lifestyle Overland put a new set on their 4Runner when they did all this upgrades, and the first trip out, he splits almost every tire has a gash in it.
Of the Hankook?
It's like their soft compound or something. So for those of you that, he basically had a brand new set of tires the first trip out, and he had all these gashes in the side. As a matter of fact, he changed one because he wasn't sure it was going to make it. And he's like, well, looks like a new set of tires. No way. So,
yeah, I've been a big fan of the Yokohama Geo Landers, the MTs.
Yeah.
They've been, they're just now starting to make a little bit of noise.
Yeah,
they're a mud terrain. And I mean, sadly, they've spent the majority of their life on pavement.
It happens. I know with my Chevy, I ran Cooper RTXs, and they were good, but they had such a noise to them. And it was just annoying with these Falcons. I don't have any noise. I've taken them through mud, gravel, you name it, everything you can think of, and ice included, going up to the snow passes out by Rainier, and they've been good to me. I've had them now for I think 10,000 miles. I just did the rotation when I did my last tune or oil change and stuff, and they're wearing really well. And I right now with the way things are going with work, they're predominantly used on the pavement anyways. And
Gotcha.
But they've worn down evenly. Like I definitely think we'll get another set for them for sure.
Gotcha. Right on. All
right. So I'm going to fire off some questions to you here.
Boom.
Michael doesn't know this, but I've been kind of putting a little thing together to fire something. So, and all you got to do is answer these just real quick questions. They could be yes or no's or whatever. Quick. Timbo Tusk, yes or no?
No.
Scottle, yes or no?
No.
Max Trax, yes or no?
No, I use a different company.
Go Treads?
Yes.
We love Go Treads.
Go Treads are my friends. They were my first official sponsor.
Okay, desert overlanding or snow overlanding?
I prefer snow. Desert, I've done enough time in the desert. Doesn't interest me anymore.
He sweated his balls off. He sweated his balls off enough. He's not doing it anymore.
Yeah, I'll deal with the snow.
Oh my God, that's funny. Okay, rooftop tent or ground tent?
Ground tent.
Why not a rooftop tent?
Yeah, tell us your thoughts on that.
So here's my thing about the rooftop tent. If it has its applications, yes. But for me, if I'm at a campsite and I know I'm not going somewhere the next day and I'm going to have a cocktail or two, I'd much rather be able to just roll into my tent instead of trying to climb a ladder. I've learned that through my time in the military. Path of least resistance is the best thing. But honestly, I cannot get myself to spend that money. And I'm a single income family. It's not practical.
So first, I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've never had one.
I never had one, no. But
Have
I
you
have
ever slept inside of one?
I have.
Did it not change your life?
I liked it, but again, it's
I know the money side.
That's what I said the first time. That's what I said the first time I tried pot. I was like, "Oh, I kind of like it."
I've got the reason why. One of the reasons why I like the rooftop tent so much, and especially the one that I'm in now, this quick pitch, because it's 2 snaps,
right?
And you push the thing up, and 2 poles, and you're asleep.
Yeah.
So I don't like to dick around at camp and set all the shit up and get all the tables out and do all the bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that. That's where I am seriously leaning towards some kind of canopy camper, somewhat like Lee has or something like that.
I could definitely see myself going towards that later on. Like for me, as I progress through the overlanding, evolution, as we'll call it, it's just I'm all about quick, fast, and practical.
I did a podcast about this a long time ago. What the natural progression of overlanding, of what it is, starts off with the guy hiking or mountain biking that has a tent with him and sets up the tent and does that bullshit, and then you have the car that you take the bike to the place, and then you ride the bike, and then you don't want to ride the bike anymore, so you're in the car more and you do the car stuff, and then you want it to be more comfortable, so then you get a rooftop tent, and then you want it to be more comfortable, and you get a trailer, and then more comfortable, and you get a Sprinter van, and more comfortable, and then you're in an RV, and you're old, staying, chasing the nice weather.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. I could definitely agree with that. I could see my evolution kind of working that way myself.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I know that there's some people that'll be like, well, Mark Dorian's still doing it, and that dude is amazing because he, and he's an older guy, but he is still out there kicking ass and doing all the stuff. Now, I hope that I'm still doing it when I'm in my 60s and 70s, but I could also see being a little tempted by the dark side of an air conditioning and fucking cable TV.
I agree with that. So the reason I got really a lot more, I used to love hiking and backpacking, and I still do it every once in a while. But for me, so in 2017, I broke my neck.
Oh,
I crushed my C5.
How do you not start a conversation with that?
Oh,
Hey, my name's Mike. I broke my neck. I see, like when I meet people, sometimes it's, hey, my name is Michael, and I won a dance contest once, which is true. And I really did win it. But yeah, if I had the broken neck, I'd definitely be pulling that to get. Anyway, you're married, so never mind.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, so I broke my neck, and I had surgery. They put a plate in, and I'm still dealing with the remnants of it. So like going, even it's tough sometimes in the Army too, but I work around it.
So you got a broken neck, you've got a plate in there, and they still let you in the Army.
Yes. I still meet all physical requirements for the Army. I still can do my job. I can still.
Dude, that's badass. Good for you.
Nice. It was hard work. And I'm still going through a lot of recovery. But it's just one of those things to where, the constant humping up and down a mountainside, for long ends going from point to point. I could do it, but I'd be waking up the next day and why did I do that?
Yeah.
Why, and I'd be down. So
that's part of the evolution that I'm talking about.
Exactly. So with the overlanding thing, I could take some bumps, and like I'm still feeling it, but it's nowhere near as bad. And I'm not. My Jeep is definitely not built to go rock crawling. So the trails that I go on, to get where I need to go are not the most complex anymore, or the biggest like rocky, bouncing around type thing. So, again, it just comes to practicality and, matching my lifestyle for my business or for my being.
Yeah. Here's the deal. I think obviously we have over. I don't want to say overbuilt, but we have rigs that are built now. Lee and I, neither one of us have a lift on our vehicle.
Yeah.
Not that we wouldn't put it on there. We just don't.
Yeah.
And we've gone places, especially Lee. I mean, he camped over 170 nights last year in that truck. And it just proves you can go see some beautiful things and you don't have to have 35s and a 4-inch lift and all the stuff.
And honestly, for me, like everything has to have a purpose. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a vehicle with a lift and all that stuff. Hell, I have a leveling kit on my Jeep just so I can bring that front end up so I'm not scraping rock as I'm going through, save my oil pan. But I think, especially coming into it now and really putting that focus behind it, there's a lot of not drawbacks, but negativity that's been coming out that I've seen across the many different forums about, that definition of what is an overlander. Who do we classify as this? Who do we classify as that? And I don't think there needs to be a classification. It should be just about a group of people going out and having a good time, enjoying nature, respecting one's rigs. I mean, hell, I barely even put my rig out on forums because the minute I do, it's like I attract the worst possible human beings sometimes.
No, well, yeah, I get that because yours isn't heavily modified currently,
and it's a platform that nobody does, and
yeah, and I mean there's some things that I've seen for the Cherokee that I really like. There's a few of them in Oklahoma that have and I know it might sound a little silly, but they have a ladder rack on the back, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it's the go
and they use it to put their trasheroos on and stuff like that. So it serves a purpose for them, which is ultimately what we're doing. But okay, so you say that about your rig and then keeping it simple. But if you were to have a vehicle that was just a dedicated overland vehicle, not saying that you have millions and millions of dollars, but you have a vehicle. You're able to spend money to have a second vehicle.
Yeah.
What kind of vehicle would you want?
So for me,
and let's keep it realistic.
Yeah. So honestly, if I want no. So I've had a lot of thought on that. Coming up as I move in my career and where I want to go and everything. And I actually have the answer that I would go with for me is a Range Rover. To be honest with you, not the new one, but I would say the classic Range Rover with the built-in locking differentials, with the set of 33s on it, and just the standard accoutrements. Nothing too crazy. It's just something that I can enjoy. That's unique. I'm always have been about. I never went the normal path with vehicles, even when I was when I was in my my teens and early 20s. I was a big tuner guy. So and I had a Volkswagen that was modified. None of my cars have.
Oh, you hit on Lee's thing right there.
None of my cars have ever been stock. They've always had something done to them.
Yeah,
and that's I got that from my dad and my uncles, and to be able to look in and saying, hey, I did that, I put that on, or I know my car better than most. It's just, for me, that's where my passion is. And then, like, for me, if I happen to get promoted later on down the line, God willing, I was looking at, up until diesel went up, I was looking at actually the Jeep Gladiator diesel. And another one that I had saw out here that I thought was funky was the new Santa Cruz pickup truck from Hyundai with the H-track.
My dad has one.
I think it's the most.
They are so damn cool looking.
Yes, and I always think to myself, like, that lift it maybe an inch with a little bit of thicker.
It looks like a futuristic Hot Wheel car.
Yes,
like a few years ago. Like it's really, and they ride pretty nice. And anyway.
Hey Jeremiah, I'm not playing Tetris. I'm answering messages and stuff, and
That's funny.
and surfing porn. But anyway.
Hey.
Yeah, he's got to make sure his OnlyFans is up to date.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got to pay for that trip coming up.
That's right. Get those feet out. Get those feet out.
Anybody want to see my feet?
So funny. So it's funny. I asked you the question about what your next vehicle was.
Wait, I wasn't done asking questions. Damn it!
Hold on. And based on just some of the things that we've learned about you, and I was very happy to hear that your first vehicle that you said is one that most people wouldn't say. You know, I mean, I started off in a Jeep Liberty. I'm in a Nissan Frontier, which is gaining popularity, but still is not
right.
It's not a Toyota.
No, and that's the thing. Like, one thing that I noticed, like when I was in the Philippines, was just there's a whole list of vehicles. Like everybody looks at the Toyota Hilux. Everybody's like, "Oh man, I want that Toyota Hilux." But have you ever heard of a Ford Everest?
Yeah.
And I tell you what, that's the funkiest SUV I have ever seen. And I sat there going, "Huh, that is awesome." Or they had a Mitsubishi down there it was a 2018. I can't remember the actual name of it, but it was a Mitsubishi pickup truck. It was just so, to me, that was like the coolest thing in the world, because I like unique things that I don't like. You know, I don't want to be able to go down to the dealership and get it, you know?
Yeah.
Hey guys, you said Mitsubishi, and it reminded me of a thing that I saw this week that I thought was the Mitsubishi Montera 3rd generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All of the seats lay down flat. All of them. And it creates a big bed.
I did not know that.
Seats and the back seats.
So
really?
I know
all lay down level and flat.
The Cherokee, my Cherokee can do that with the passenger seat and the back seats.
Yeah, the Liberty could do that.
Which,
but even the driver's side and the console, like it's all fucking even.
That's freaking awesome. I never knew
that is pretty cool. Now, and here's the deal: it could be some computer witchcraft, but you know, I believe everything that's on the internet.
Of course, you know, the internet doesn't lie.
Yeah, no,
you know, the internet was the one that told us the Pontiac Aztec was going to be the next big thing.
Dude, they were badass. I don't care what you say.
Hey, Michael and I had some dude sporting one that was back. Michael and I had some guy in one of them come down to the lake where we were camping, and he was talking about he's fixing to lift it, and I mean he's gonna mob it.
I think if Pontiac was still around and they brought the Aztec out today, I think the love would have been there for it. Because if you think about it, if you look at that time period, overlanding really wasn't a thing in the early 2000s.
Dude, I think we're going into a real dark area right now.
All the cars look
conversation. Are we going to talk about how badass the Element is?
Like
Sorry
Pontiac.
for our listener in Tulsa that has one that's pretty badass. But the Elements that I think the Element was ahead of its time, because you could rinse the whole thing out with a water hose.
Yes, exactly, and that's, everybody gets so fixated on it's got to be a pickup truck, or it's got to be a Land Cruiser, some sort of land yacht. There's so many vehicles that are in that Cov generation, or you know, like the very first generation crossovers that may not be like the end all beat all. Look at the Isuzu.
Oh, don't you say anything bad about Isuzu.
I'm not. I love that thing. I personally think it's one of the coolest things that was ever created.
The Via Cross?
Yes. But it was ahead of its time.
Far, it's a moon car.
Yes.
Shit, Michael and I've drooled over those things like, oh, we need one of those.
Oh, absolutely. Because it's just, I mean, I love that thing. One of my teachers in high school had one, and I thought it was the coolest thing in the world.
Yeah, I've seen them on 35s.
Ooh.
And it's what's crazy is it doesn't look out of place.
No.
The fender wells are so big. I mean, it's just the car, the vehicle was so far. It was the first vehicle basically to knock Jeep off of the 4x4 of the year.
Yeah, exactly. And don't get me wrong, I love Jeep and I love my Jeep, but I am not a brand loyalist, and I have never been a brand loyalist. I'm a whore of the car world. If it makes sense and it looks good, I will like it. I don't care if it's got a bow tie, an oval, an H emblem. It doesn't matter to me. It just has to make sense, and it has to represent something. I think today's market is like they're cookie cutters anymore. I mean, I look at Toyota as a prime example. They just released the new Tundra. The new Tundra's got the same front end as the damn Tacoma, which I guarantee that when the 4Runner gets rebranded or redone, it's gonna have that same front end.
I saw one where the top came off.
I saw that one too. It was a 3D. Yes, but that's the thing that I hate. Is just that these car companies are kind of losing each vehicle having their own individual thing, and
well, you say that, and then Ford knocked it out of the ballpark with the Bronco, even if it's going to end up being a piece of shit. They knocked out the design.
I agree 100%. The Bronco, the Bronco Sport and the Bronco, the Wrangler, the one that's going after the Wrangler.
Everybody just stood on their brakes, and it locked up so hard that it bumped.
Yeah,
because they were like, the Bronco Sport. Wait a minute, what? Wait a minute.
Bronco 2 is coming back. No,
that's the name they should have given it.
They should have given it the Bronco 2 as kind of
They should have, and they should have put that big ass window on the side that curved up.
That curves up.
Oh, yeah. So I had a.
They should have just made the whole thing a curved fucking window.
But that's the thing, though. That's what I mean. It's unique, and I hate to say it, but a lot of the companies that are getting it right with these things are the EV companies, and I know. I'm dreading on treaded water there. I get it.
You were warned.
Yes,
you were warned before you got it. When you got
it, let's not go down too deep into the whole EV thing.
I'm not saying it's the answer to everything. I know. I'm not saying it's the answer to everything, but when it comes to overall appearance, minus the Tesla truck, which I think is terrible, but the Rivian and these other companies are coming out there.
Dude, if I was gonna electric vehicle it, I'm doing the Cybertruck.
Even Mark Bruce thinks it looks like he's like.
See, but if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna big dick it. I'm gonna throw it out there, and I'm gonna say, here it is.
Listen,
and even though I think the Hummer one,
that'd be the one I'd buy,
is badass. I still think I would have to go with the Cybertruck because
the thing about the Cybertruck though is it's affordable. I mean, it starts at like $29,000,
and they have a crazy looking camper built for one.
And I
had that as a wall photo before.
They upgraded the motors now to the 4800 series, I think, and some other stuff. So I mean, they've done some work, but for me, and of course, I can't afford the Hummer. It's just too stupid expensive. If I was, it would only be it'd be the Hummer, and it'd be one of those things I just use a little bit because I detest the EVs at this point in my life.
Dude,
I like hybrids.
Dog, and I would crab walk that motherfucker down the road.
That's the
thing. He'd have Snoop Dogg playing in that thing.
Crab walk it back and forth
in my 64. Yeah, no.
Oh shit!
So that's the thing.
Okay,
though.
We're going to a dark side.
That's the thing, though. Like I coming up here to Washington, compared to when I was living in Texas, compared to when I was living in Oklahoma, they up here they're all about peace, love, and the electric vehicle.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, you're in a hard part of the country.
Oh, it's I got cursed.
Beautiful.
I got cursed out because there was a parking spot open and I parked in it, and it happened to be a charging station parking spot. There was no sign that said you can't.
What are you doing?
Because I needed to park. I was in Seattle. I paid, and the lady comes up to me and she goes, "You can't park here. It's for electric vehicles." I'm like, "Where's the sign?" She goes, "Oh." I'm like, "I already paid for the meter. I'm good. I'll catch you later." But I need it. I'm like, well, I have an appointment. I'm sorry.
That brings me up to a conversation that we need to have. I think that this is going to be the most important conversation that we've possibly had on Overland Radio.
Okay.
If the stalls are full and it's a handicap stall open,
I'd go take a shit.
You go take a shit.
Yeah.
But then what happens is those two other people or however many stalls leave, and you're stuck in there in the because you're still doing your business in the handicap one, and then a handicap kid walks in.
Well,
Do we
sorry.
have a dilemma, or
No.
is everything okay?
Everything's okay because you can't control that everything is full. And if you gotta go, you gotta go. We've all been. We're all adults. There's been times where you're driving down the road, Mother
But
Nature
you know when
hits
you're
you.
sitting there and you hear that person dragging that leg, and you're like, "Son of a bitch!"
So
Really?
you try to push it out faster, I guess. But other than that, you just finish your business. Say, you walk out, say apologize. It was full. And then go and carry on your business. Because at the end of the day, as soon as you step through that door, you're probably gonna forget about that person, and that person's probably gonna curse you out.
What you do is you drag a leg when you walk out.
Okay,
No,
you do that.
you just, if they say anything, you just say, "Look, I'm too fucking fat for that skinny stall. I need the room."
I don't have that issue. I can't pull that card.
You're not one of us.
I'm about
Yeah.
$150 on a good day.
Jeremiah wants to know if Mark is at work down in Australia. Yes, he is, and it is probably somewhere around 11:30 in the morning. I'm guessing.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm guessing somewhere around in there.
Right on. Mark with Red Arc. Love you, man.
Yeah. We love Mark.
He
kind of starting to like Jeremiah a little bit.
There's a little bit too much love going on.
Well, Jeremiah's kind of like that. It's kind of like that skin tag that develops under your armpit. It starts out small and then it just keeps growing and getting bigger and bigger. That's, and you kind of become attached to it. So that's kind of how Jeremiah is. He's like a skin tag.
9 foot. See, I was gonna say it was 9 o'clock. It was 9.
He was gonna say 9 o'clock. Yeah, it's some. I can't remember if it's exactly. I know there's an hour or so difference or something.
Hey, I will tell you, I don't think you need to bother watching the Doctor Strange movie.
Oh, you went to see it.
I'll wait for it to come out on DVD myself because
Doctor Strange just isn't my favorite character anyway.
Oh, it's like
I don't want to see magic bullshit. I want to see fucking punches in the face and throwing someone across the room and stomping on them or something.
Yeah.
And I want to see little TNA.
Jeremiah, I will find you. I meant it in a loving way.
Well, right on, man. So I know that you've got social media, Instagram. Tell us, everybody else, where else we can find you.
Well, you can find me on the Instagram. This Instagram carries over to my Facebook page, and I just changed my handle on Twitter. So if you excuse me for a second.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I know. So now my Instagram or my Twitter is at Zero Bearing Adventure. So it's Zero Bearing ADVN. You can find me on there. That one's more for just BS.
Gotcha.
I'm a huge movie nerd outside of outdoor stuff. So that's where I usually do all my nerd shit for movies.
Right
The biggest thing is for what you see is what you get on my Instagram. I have a couple of sponsors and they're really good to me. One of them's I'm running a promotion right now. So if you go onto my Instagram, you can enter to win a coffee prize pack. But it's never been about y'all seen the movie Twister?
No.
Okay.
What?
So you never seen Twister?
I live in Oklahoma.
I'm just making sure, hey, it's the 26th anniversary of that movie coming out. That was one of the first movies I loved as a kid. But I didn't do it for the sponsors. I do it because I enjoy what I do, and it's something that I can show my son. So my Instagram it's there to show you the places that I've been. I've been very fortunate in my military career to travel the world. I've been on most continents, and I plan on traveling a lot more. So it's unfiltered. You're gonna see life as I see it. I have my little hashtags on there. It's just for me to show you all what I see. So, please follow me on those adventures, and I'm there. And
make sure you guys go check it out. It was just kind of fun to have somebody reach out and say, hey, look, we enjoy the show, and
absolutely.
And, and I thought, having you on would be a great story and talk about, kind of a new view. And we've just bullshitted the whole hour about nothing, which is awesome, just going back and forth. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up, but I do appreciate you to being on here.
I appreciate it.
Any last things you need to comment on or say?
Yeah.
too hard.
No.
Okay. You'll be
Can't
on the
think of
road on
anything.
Tuesday next time, right?
Yeah, I'll be on the road next week. Maybe I'll see Jeremiah. Am I going to see you at Expo West? Maybe. So maybe. If so, let's go wheeling. Anyhow,
well, right on. Well, Lee,
that's
thank
it.
you for pushing all the buttons. Mike, thank you for joining
Thank you.
the show today. And all of you out there, love you so much. Thank you for everything you do. Make sure you share it. Make sure you like it. All the Instagrams, the Overland Radio, the All Over Overland, and the Zero Bearing Adventures with hashtag, or not hashtag, the lower, what is that thing? The low
Underscore.
line.
Underscore.
That in between
Yeah.
the words. I just messed that all up. Anyway, love you guys. Whatever you do, make sure that you go all over.